Magazine. En esta ocasión estamos con Borknagar, desde Noruega. Aquí me cuento con Einstein y Lars. Están en su parada por Mesa, Arizona. Estamos en el Night Theater. First of all, you're pretty much at the end of the tour. How has it been so far? Or how did it go, pretty much?
Yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, we've had so many cool concerts at so many different places. You know, USA is such a massive country, so there's a whole lot of differences between, you know, the East and the West, the North and the South, and it's cool to be able to sort of sample all of that, you know, in one go. So.
Okay, and I have plenty of questions, but my main concern is why did it take you so long to come to the United States? It's been, I remember, about 20 years, I believe, you announced this tour, I believe, with Dark Tranquility. I might be wrong. But the tour got canceled. I know you've been coming back to the United States for, I don't know, a couple of times maybe for, special occasions. Maryland, I'm not sure there's a couple more presentations. Why did it take you so long to come back to the United States?
I mean, for a European band, it's quite complicated to tour in the US. I mean, we need the working visas. There's a lot of expenses to only to be able to travel to US and play as on a proper tour like this. And also, as I said, we have been working with this for quite many years. Just this tour, we have been working with since late 2019, I think. And then the Corona hit us, and we had to postpone, and then we had to postpone like 2 times this tour. And even before that, we had Ice and Airs open in order to try to get to the US and proper tour and stuff like that. But it's a bit, it's much easier for us to tour Europe and stuff in practical terms. So it's a kind of that's just the way it is for it. It's a much heavier lift to go touring in the US than
I think the logistics are much more complicated for us to come over here, and also we need more time. I mean, when we first go over, it's going to take more than, we don't do like 2.5 weeks. In Europe, we can just go out and do 2.5 weeks if that fits into our schedule. But over here, you need at least 4 or 5 weeks to be able to do it in a proper manner, and that creates all sorts of complications at home. With all the other stuff that we do over there. So yeah. I guess it just took the time that it took. So here we are, 23 years, it's the last time.
Oh yeah, but we have, had the idea for quite a long time. Touring US has been something, since we did the first US tour in '99 with Emperor, actually, which a couple of other bands. That was a rough tour in many ways. We drove around in a van without air conditioning in the middle of the heat wave and stuff. So I have some nightmarish kind of memories from that tour, but also a lot of good memories. We had a great tour in so many ways. So since then we have kind of kept this. Oh, we have to do US again at some point. Then you have life.
Yeah. Well, we're really happy to see you guys finally. Hopefully, it doesn't take that long for you guys to come back.
Yeah,
hopefully, I know you guys. You said it. How all the things that imply to come to the United States, and I know many bands. They struggle, or they get just canceled at Watain. Mm-hmm. They just get canceled. I don't know if you know about it. They get canceled at the last moment, pretty much, and they got messed up.
Yeah, we was on the brink to not be able to travel ourselves. We got our passports like 1.5 hours before the embassy in Oslo closed.
Oh wow!
So if it was like we got the passport like 2 hours later, we would be here.
Yeah.
So it's the whole thing, the whole process is way more complicated, and you are kind of dependent on so many other people in this project, like embassies, lawyers, 2 different lawyers in the US and stuff like that. You kind of, the whole team has to work together and make it, sum up to a US tour. So it's.
I see. Now focusing on the music. I know you guys take your time between albums. It's been about 2.5 years or so since your latest album. I know you take your time, but are you guys still working on a new album? Pandemic happened. I know your lyrics, they are very much about nature or philosophical concepts and all this. And this pandemic has happened. Regarding if you believe it or not, because there are so many controversy about it. Do you guys think that your music will be affected, your lyrics will be focused somehow, because nature at the end of the
We have
day?
lots of new music already. I mean, the way we write. I don't think any one thing in life pushes that very clearly in one direction or another. There's like a basic way to the way that we write music, and also to how we refine that music as a band. So. I mean, we have a lot of music. We're not done with the writing, but we're getting close now. So there's going to be new music. I don't really think it's been affected directly by the pandemic. Do you think so? At least not for my part. I don't think so.
No, people ask me very often what inspires more songwriting and all this stuff, and I usually answer life. I mean, I have a very broad perspective on those things, and I think Corona is part of life as well. I don't sit down, write lyrics or anything, music, or directly inspired to make a riff because of Corona, of course. But of course, the whole situation, the whole, we were supposed to do this tour, like we was about to travel on this tour, exact same tour, just with Wolfharten. And everything was cancelled just a few days before. We were supposed to, jump on the train, so to speak, the flights. So we had to, shift the whole, what are you doing now? We had to adapt to the situation quite fast, really. So I think, of course that it had some sort of impact on our lives, and then again the music and everything. But Corona as a theme, no. I wouldn't say so. I mean, maybe we had something back in the day. I mean, on the first album we did add in, the Dowden song, which is one of the most popular songs on the debut album, deals pretty much about the plague back in the 1349 or whatever it was. So that's kind of maybe, but that's that's 25 years ago and not really relevant for this situation.
Well, talking about all music, or actually your music, focusing on your music, you guys keep reinventing yourself somehow. Every album brings a new. You can tell it's Borknagar still is there, obviously, but you guys, every album you can tell there is a little different approach on developing music. I don't know if that makes sense.
We develop as human beings, so it would be kind of weird for us to sit down and try and make just the same album over and over again. I guess some bands do that. Right? I mean, AC/DC does that, and that's fine. I mean, they can do that. It's a successful, recipe. But for us, I think it's important to really work on that expression at each time. Try and challenge ourselves a bit, and try and see what we can do to make this, interesting, and keep being interesting also for us as songwriters and performers.
Yeah, and I have always said to myself, and even to some journalists, that the day I find myself walking in circles, musically speaking, I would quit. I mean, that wouldn't make sense to me. To me, it's, at least from my perspective, it's like music has to mirror life in some way. And as Lars says, I mean, we take a step further as human beings. We kind of grow older and all that stuff. We get kids, life changes during this journey, and so do our music. And I think that's, in my opinion, that's the most honest approach to music, and that's what I want with my music. I want that to be a real time, honest expression of the situation of the lives we are living at the moment. So I think for me and for us, that's the most natural thing in the world, to always seek, climb another mountain, or to try to broaden the horizon somehow. And it comes very natural. That was the idea I had back in the day when I started the band, and kind of was thinking out the ideas and what should be the musical foundation and all that stuff. That was all, this open-minded, kind of evolutionary band, musical bubble, my music, kind of my own musical universe in a sense, that kind of just linger along. That is things that's always been very important for me, and I think we have tried to kind of cling on to that idea throughout the years, without, and that's I think important point. Is that to also keep on to the values, the ideas, the basic root of the music, so to speak. For me, I always envision my musical career as a kind of a journey somehow. And you kind of, the more you walk, the more you see the horizon, the more you climb mountains, you kind of get more and more experience in your backpack. And that's kind of, this backpack is also, to me, very important. But always, take a step forward and stuff. That's, yeah.
You guys been losing members along the way, change members. How does that affect a band like yours? I know you are a main composer, or the way I understand it. And then we got the vocal duties. So you got a couple of singers. You got tracks where there are pretty much all the singers having on the band. How do you guys go decide how that will work, or like?
Kind of just happens naturally. I mean, I came aboard in like 98 or 99.
1999, according to the archives.
So it's like 23 years, something like that. And I mean, we both see members come and go. Hasn't been much drama connected to that. I mean, I don't think we're difficult to be in a band with, but it's just coincidences, I guess, more than anything.
Definitely, life happens, kind of thing, and but also think that we have been doing this for such a long time. There is obviously in this business ups and downs and all that stuff. And I at some points also think that maybe this band isn't for everybody. The way we think, the way we work, the way the value of the bands, how we, so it's kind of been a natural process. It may sound a little bit harsh, but the kind of musical selection in a way. That things kind of just happen, and there's been as Lars says, there's no real drama in it really. I think it's more kind of looks like a drama from the outside and Wikipedia or whatever it's written there, but from the inside, we probably one of the most peaceful bands around.
Yeah, and also, I mean, as the band evolves and as the music evolves, I don't think we've seen it as problematic to have those changes. Also with the different vocalists. I mean, Borknagar has always been sort of a vocal-heavy band. We've had a lot of different vocalists, and everyone has had their, very particular style of vocals that have brought, their sort of soul into Borknagar. And that's also why, we've been fortunate enough to bring people back and do like cameo, small appearances, do songs. I mean, like Winter Thrice, for instance, with all of the vocalists. So, as we've said, there's not much drama to that. Everyone brings their own flavor to the music. But that said, I think we have a really good constellation with the band that we have now. I think every sort of twist and turn that the band has had has led up to this point, and we're really pleased with how things work for us the way it is now.
Indeed. Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, I think we are all best friends kind of thing, and make music together, and is able to do this tour US and stuff. So it's good times. I mean, and that of course kind of again inspires new music and to keep on going. I mean, we have done this for so many years. We are kind of aging and all that stuff, but I feel the same spark today, as musically speaking at least, as I did when I was 19, and that's a treasure. And of course, for me being able as a musician, just from my perspective, that has been in all the ups and downs, all the storms, all the whatever happens, and the waves of the scene and what's popular and not popular. I've always tried, at least for myself, to cling on to the basic passion about music, and for me that is making music. As long as I try to do making music, having kind of goals for a new album, ideas, reasons to move forward and stuff like that, it's going forward.
And we also do another thing to add to that is we also do things outside of Borknagar together. At least me and Øystein, we collaborate with a lot of different projects, because Øystein is also an engineer and a producer. So I mean, the whole Borknagar starting point has sort of expanded to include other things as well that comes from both friendship and our ability to collaborate. We know that we are good at collaborating and making things together. So yeah, things work really well the way that we've set up this band now.
One last question. What's next? I know eventually there will be a new album, plenty of them, hopefully. What's next for the band?
A Borknagar Water World.
Wow, that was new. No, but seriously, yeah, I mean, first of all, we are going back to Europe now in a couple of days, and we're doing a couple of festivals throughout the summer, quite a lot actually. Then we do European tour together with My Young Bride and Moonspell, which is like a festival tour thing, big thing going in Europe in September-ish or something like that. And I think that after that we're gonna probably start to do some recordings and get going with new album
start with
stuff.
drums after the tour.
So maybe even before if we have the time, but it's a busy time of the year ahead. So let's see what we are. Making albums, I don't want to stress it. We have done, what it is, 11 albums. And, I don't feel that there is nothing that can, stress us. I mean, I do reject that. If record companies or whoever try to stress the process of new album, they get the finger, and they know it. So we do everything in our own pace, so to speak.
At the same time, I mean, we have a lot of music, so as soon as we have time, we're at the point where we can start working with that. But it's going to take the time it's going to take. Yeah.
Do you guys? I know that I said was going to be my last question, but just one very last. Your set list. After so many albums and your first appearance in the United States after so long, was there any special thing going on there, or you guys use the site? Is it the same?
It's always problematic because we have a lot of albums, we have a lot of songs. Some people will always be disappointed, right? So I think we just sat down and we made a set list that we wanted to play. And we made sure that we do rotate a bit on some songs, so usually the set list isn't the exact same from one day to the next. So there'll be a little variation there as well, but some songs we kind of have to play because everyone expects to hear them and have waited to hear them for a long time. It's a puzzle. And on this tour we're doing a set of about 45 minutes. So yeah, we have to be a bit picky of what we put into the set list. But yeah, we don't do anything like dramatically different than what we do when we play in Europe or in Latin America for that matter. It's just a matter of trying to find the right balance between old and new, faster and melodic and
Yeah, and also as you said, the songs that we want to play, that we kind of urge to play, because I think that show if there is a song we find inspiring to do live, that also that will kind of reflect back on the audience and stuff. So it's and it's crazy because we the set we have now, like 45 minutes, we couldn't play one song from each album. That would be way too long. So it's
would be great though.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be possible with a 45-minute set. That's the problem. So we basically kind of follow our hearts, to be a little bit cheesy on that one.
All right. Well, thank you. That was pretty much it. I highly appreciate you guys for taking your time to talk to me, for coming to the United States. And as I said before, I really hope to see you guys again.
We'll be back sooner than 23 years.
Promise?
Yeah, I promise.
All right. Muchas gracias, cabrones. Desde Chihuahua, Mesa, para que así.
this open, just right. To the hairy yes. You know the words. Yes, you do.